Check the temperature. Well, when you live in your car full time, you have to get into a habit of checking the 10-day forecast. You want to always have a little bit of an idea on what to expect with regards to the weather conditions when you live in your car or van. Why? Because you're living a primitive life. You are basically a tent camper. Your car, your van operates as a tent, as shelter. However, just like a tent, it's a little bit better than a tent. It's not a house. It's not insulated. It's not built like a house. So you are more in tune with the elements, with the climate. And your ability to sleep and your health could be affected by the climate. So when you check the 10-day forecast, you definitely want to check the temperature, the humidity, and the wind. And the wind chill can definitely cut the temperature down several degrees depending on how much wind there is. So from my experience of living in extreme climates, because that's when you need to be conscious even more than ever, extreme climates. And that's mainly in the dead of winter and at the height of the summer. And those months are pretty much 2 months in the winter, which are usually February and March. Those are the coldest months in most states in America. And July and August in the summer. Those two extremes, the height of the summer and the height of the winter, that's when you really have to be conscious of the weather. In the spring and in the fall, those are moderate temperature times of the year. That's when most people go camping. However, when you live in your car or van full time, you're full time camping. And so you have to have a full time camper's mindset that you're checking weather conditions to see how it's going to affect your well-being. Sleep is a major part of health. And the colder the temperature or even the hotter the temperature, the more it can affect your immune system. Your immune system fights off bacteria and disease. So if it's real cold and your body temperature is affected, and if you go into Starbucks and someone's coughing, your immune system may not be as strong as it would if you were in moderate temperature and you were getting the proper sleep. Because look, when it's real hot and it's real cold, you're not going to get the proper sleep. And sleep is when your body repairs itself. It's when your body fights off diseases and, it just builds itself back up. So when it's not getting that adequate time because it's constantly being woken up by extreme temperatures, there's possibly an issue. I got my sickest while living in my car in the dead of the winter in New Jersey and at the height of the summer in Florida. So I've dealt with extreme cold in New Jersey and extreme heat in Florida. They both suck and they both make life very uncomfortable. That's one of the biggest negatives of living in your car or van full time, dealing with extreme temperatures. However, as best you can, you just have to try to get through those couple of months of the extreme weather because it will pass and it will be better again. So in the dead of the winter, as you're checking the weather and being conscious of it, once you start to get down to the single digits and definitely below zero, and again, be conscious of the wind chill factor because the temperature on like the 10-day weather forecast, it may say it's going to get down to 10 degrees. But if you account for the wind chill, it might get down to -5. So just be mindful of that. So I would recommend that you go to Walmart and there's a sleeping bag rated at 20 or 25 degrees Fahrenheit. From my experience, that's the lowest level in temperature sleeping bag that Walmart sells. And it works good. Again, it really helped me in the beginning. I didn't have it and I suffered for it. So, you can get like even a lower rated sleeping bag if you shop online. But for most people like me, I just bought it at Walmart. It was good. So in the winter, you're layering up and you're using that 20 or 25 degree Fahrenheit sleeping bag. And even with that, you have several layers of socks, etc. You're going to have to start your car periodically throughout the night just to cut the chill out of the air, go back to sleep, and you repeat that. Again, you don't want to leave your car idling for long periods of time. You do want to have a carbon monoxide detector in your car. You do want to keep a window cracked a little bit because you want fresh air. And this is part of the negatives of living in your car and something you have to be conscious of. Certainly, if it got real bad and you got real sick, then maybe you'll need to check into a hotel or whatever. But again, I think in most instances, you'll be fine if you bundle up and prepare properly. In the summer, you're going to be running a fan. You want to go to the gym. I go to Planet Fitness. You want to take a shower right before you go to bed, so you're clean. You get, when you come out of Planet Fitness, at least the air kind of makes the moisture on your body like feel a little bit cool. But it's going to be hot after about a half hour, and there's not much you can do. You can start your car intermittently and run air conditioning and shut it off. There's some people that live in hybrid cars, so they can run the air conditioner in the summer and it'll cut itself on and turn itself off. So what I want to share with you, look, is there's no magical answer to make it feel like you're living in a house, because you're not. You're living primitive. You do not have a house with insulation. You don't have the amenities of a house. You don't have central air and heating and cooling and all that stuff. So, however, there is a great reward living in your car. Look, you're not paying rent. You're not dealing with a landlord. You're not entangled in a mortgage. However, like everything, there's pros and cons. You have to try to get through February and March. You have to try to get through July and August and the outskirts of those months. You want to get into a habit, maybe even every day in the morning as one of your habitual things, is you check the 10-day forecast, you check temperature, you check humidity, and you check wind. And then obviously also you check if there's any storms or anything coming your way. Because if there's going to be a snowstorm like I've lived in, or if there's going to be a hurricane like I've lived in, you want to move. You want to move out of that area, use your flexibility, or if you have no other choice and you need to stay in that area, which I had to do in a snowstorm because I had a certain office job, then you're going to have to prepare, gas your car up fully, have a few snacks, but not too many, because that's how you get rodents, especially in the summer. In the winter, you should be okay with snacks because most of the bugs and stuff are dead. But in the summer, be careful putting snacks in your car, because that's how I got roaches one time. So what I could tell you is that living in the elements, living primitive, is a serious thing that you need to be mindful of. Not something that you can't push past, because I've done it for 3 years in extreme cold and in extreme heat. However, it does wear on you. However, it can make you sick and it can hurt you physically. And you get sick. It's true. So you have to be mindful. And use the resources. I've seen shelters. I don't like shelters. They're a pain in the ass. They're a negative atmosphere. But if you got no other choice, do what you got to do. If you can afford a hotel, do what you got to do. If you got a friend or family member that you can stay at their location, that's up to you. I really done none of those things. I really just kind of toughed it out. But I'm middle-aged and relatively good health, and so just be mindful. I want you to get in a habit now, okay? Because you're living primitive. Your car, your van is your tent. You have to be conscious of the elements. The good news is when it's spring or fall, and most of the year, it's actually great to live outdoors in nature, and I sleep better when it's moderate temperatures. When it's extreme temperatures, it's tougher. But for most people, it'll pass. Be careful. Use wisdom. All the things that I share, I hope it helped. Okay, this is someone who's lived in her car for 3 years. In the winters in New Jersey, in the summer in Florida. If this video helped, please click that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're not. Check out my playlist and my Patreon if you'd like to support. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace and love.